May 1940, Germany advanced into France, trapping Allied troops on the beaches of Dunkirk. Under air and ground cover from British and French forces, troops were slowly and methodically evacuated from the beach using very serviceable naval and civilian vessel that could be found. At the end of this heroic mission, 330,000 French, British, Belgian, and Dutch soldiers were safely evacuated.
There you go.
What'd you think of Dunkirk?
I enjoyed it a lot. It was very. It was not a performance heavy movie
No.
because the reason being because there wasn't really no acting to do. It was a lot of reacting
Yes.
because they weren't like trying to give dramatic soliloquies about the horrors of war and nothing like that. It was just, oh crap, they're opening fire. Let me hop this fence. Oh crap, now they're opening fire here. Let me get onto the beach. Oh crap, they're dropping bombs. Let me duck. Oh crap, something else is happening.
Yeah.
And it was just that escalation for an hour and 40 some odd minutes of, okay, we dodged this bullet only for a bigger bullet to come for us
Yes.
now. It was like watching World War II Final Destination edition almost.
What
It was
I-
like they would dodge death one way only for it to find them in another way.
What I enjoyed about this movie, which is a hard movie to technically enjoy, but you definitely appreciate.
Yeah.
the,
You don't
the
enjoy
filmmaking in
it,
this
you
movie.
appreciate it.
The filmmaking in this movie
Oh, yeah.
is the tension that just builds and builds throughout this entire movie, which is only
Escalated.
It's escalated, sorry, by the music.
Yes, the
The
music.
music.
I was like, as I was sitting there watching the movie, the score to the movie wasn't that done by Hans Zimmer?
Yes.
Yeah, the Hans Zimmer score almost gave every set piece in this movie like a siren or warning of sorts.
Yes.
And it was kind of like a
Yeah.
and in the background on every scene, so it never lets you feel like sense of that release because you could still hear that siren blaring. And then when you're sitting there, and then all of a sudden you hear it come back up, like, "What's happening? What's happening?" And then it would like cut. And you're like, oh, "Really? You're gonna build me up just to go somewhere else?" And I also like the way the story was structured,
Mm-hmm.
with the mole being a week, the sea being a day, no, with the air being a day, and the sea being an hour.
Yeah.
And then all these moments connecting together in one. And then when they connected all the moments together, that was also brilliant how they did that. How you could see it play out one way, and then you see the same event and not realize that you're seeing the same event until you go, "Oh, that's from this part earlier in the movie," and then it all comes together in a way where it's like, "Oh, they were all meeting in one place."
Trying to remember it was Cillian Murphy, right?
Killian,
Cillian Murphy that was on the boat with Mark Rylance.
yeah,
The scenes with him and Mark Rylance. Oh my gosh.
with
That
Georgie,
was- yes.
yeah.
That one guy, he did not. Cillian Murphy did not want to go back, but oh my
Yeah, he
goodness.
did. And do you blame him?
No, not at all. I did not
No.
blame him. So I mean, I felt for both Mark Rylance's character and for Cillian in that moment. And I did not want to choose for either of them.
Yeah, because they both were right.
Yes.
Like he has a bitch. Mark Rylance was like, "We can't run away from this," which is true. You can't.
Right.
But also, Killian was like, "We're all going to die if we go back," which again, he's right.
There's no good ending. There's no good ending for either of them.
No, there's
I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just saying with that decision, there's no good ending
yeah.
for either of them, because it does. I mean, and then where it just goes after that is just insane. The movie was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah, because there hardly is any dialogue where,
No.
that, like I said, it's reactionary dialogue.
Yes.
It's like the situation's going down, they just talk to each other for a brief moment, then they just go into the next situation. Which is why this movie basically only got directing and best picture,
Right.
because there's no script to talk about. It was all basically all set pieces.
Right. This is the closest to watching an actual war that I think you're gonna get with any of these more recent.
Yeah,
war
this
movies.
is, and I appreciate the restraint on the violence too.
Yes.
Because a lot of times with war movies, Hacksaw Ridge included,
Hacksaw Ridge, definitely. I loved Hacksaw Ridge, absolutely. But good gracious, is that?
they just feel like, oh, this is a war film, so let's just make this thing violent like a horror movie. But sometimes that restraint just shows you don't have time to take in everything because you're running from bullets.
So, Tom Hardy was He gave a good performance, but he's like in the plane most of the time.
He's in the plane wearing a mask most of the time. Most of his dialogue is delivered through 1940s airplane radio,
Yeah.
but it was still tense.
Yes.
Like the scene where the one scene where he's asking this other pilot for like a certain thing throughout the movie, because something happened to his plane,
Right.
where he couldn't keep that number up in his own plane, so he had to guesstimate using chalk and all this. I'm like, oh man, is he gonna make it? And all, like there was a tension of, is he doing the right calculations as he's dodging bullets?
And what I also thought was a little interesting, but if I had watched this on like the 50 or 60 millimeter that they shot this thing in for the IMAX, if I actually watched this in IMAX, I don't know how I would have been able to handle some of these flying sequences, because they show you first person cinema or views from the pilot's pit for a lot of the times, and you're spinning around. It's kind of crazy the way that the cinematography in this movie worked. So
yeah,
I can see why this movie would get nominated for so many technical awards, because technically this is a very difficult movie.
Yeah, because he doesn't like CGI.
Right. So
all the planes were real. All the explosions were real.
Yeah, everything here. This felt raw, like a real gritty.
Without
the gore, like I said, without the gore, but
yeah,
it was
sometimes
still gritty.
It was still you still felt that grit
and tension and all that stuff.
Yeah, sometimes those movies just don't need those elements to be good.
Yeah. So, if I'm going to rate this movie, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I still think there could have been a little bit more of the gloss that I'm looking for, but I think it still is amazing.
I'm going to go 9.75 out of 10.
9.75? That's fair.
Yeah, because again, to me, I have not seen The Prestige yet, but I've seen every other movie Christopher Nolan has made, and he hasn't made a bad one yet to me. And that's including Interstellar.
Okay. I agree with you. Interstellar. I'm one of the people that liked Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar was really good. It was very clever. I liked all the... again, once you find out that there was hardly any CGI in that movie either, you go, well...
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, what kind of demon magic are you using to make these movies?
So, we'll do actually next episode we'll do a top Christopher Nolan list. So that way we can actually go down. I was gonna think about. I don't want to do that right now in the middle of our review. Or at the end of our review now. I don't want to add that to the end of our review. So we're gonna actually make that something
to do next.
About. Yeah.
Okay.
We might do that with a couple other directors. Make a list. We'll discuss that after the show.
Okay.
Definitely Christopher Nolan is going to be one of the people we're going to do. Maybe leading up to the Oscars, we'll do some of the best. Is he nominated for Best Director?
Yes. This is his first one.
There we go. We'll do the top list for the directors. It's for the ones that we've seen. Because some of them we haven't seen, especially the Call Me By Your Name guy. I've seen maybe one of his other movies.
Okay. All right.
Maybe not all of them, but a few of them will get a list. We can't do that. We cannot do that. Because two people on that list, this is their first movie.
Yeah, you're right.
So we're just going to start with Christopher Nolan then. And then we'll see something else maybe. We'll do some other directors.
Yeah, some directors.
Maybe Guillermo del Toro. We can do him. He's got a couple good movies.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Guys, I had a good idea going for a second.
And then you thought
about my idea. And then it turned into crap, which is normally how it goes. So let's go ahead and move on to our next movie.